Hi YouTube, it's Astoria. Welcome to Unscripted, my program about self-development and the spiritual movement. So happy to be with you here tonight, and I would like to share something that I wrote earlier on this week. I believe in the now. There's magic, joy, and peace right now. We're perfect in this moment, and there will never be another like it. Trust in your genius in this moment. Have faith that you are abundant right now. You embody abundance and everything good in this moment. Perhaps this is the only moment that we have. I'd also like to talk about being in the now, namely 3 reasons why it makes sense or that it's useful or helpful to live in this moment. The first one is, now is really all that we have. I think of the past as a closed door. I think of it as mist, something that we can't see, touch, hold. And the future is the same, but it may never come. So when you think about the reality of it, this moment really is all that we have. I also consider that peace of mind, mental health, joy, happiness, and peace all reside in this moment, in the now. I think that it's difficult to find those things, touch those things in the past. I think that it almost doesn't make sense to try to have that as a future goal, but it seems to make perfect sense that you can be happy, joyful, at peace, experiencing mental health right now. I believe that we co-create with our higher power. So I co-create with God, and I believe that He dwells in this moment and now. I believe that He blessed me and kept me in the past. I believe that He is my strength in the future, my hope. But I also believe that right now is it. And that's a beautiful thing. Sometimes I think that when we think about self-development and when we think about the spiritual movement, that it's so easy to get wrapped up into the idea that this is just larger than life. But I think that it can be really, really simple. And I think that sometimes we make it complicated. When we think about what makes sense for us in this moment, I think we can agree that falling in love with reality and not worrying about, at the same time, not worrying about what's going on outside of ourselves, but really cultivating inner peace is the best thing that we can do for ourselves. That's where mental health really is, inner peace. And I think that when we really look at this moment, this now, this sacred space as what we have to work with, we're not overwhelmed. They say that the best way to eat an elephant, or the way you eat an elephant, is one bite at a time. I have my big rocks and I have my challenges that I face, that I know that challenges, obstacles, and opportunities are both sides of the same coin. They say you eat the elephant one bite at a time. And sometimes I'd rather not eat the elephant at all. But this is life, and it is a contact sport. But when we can cultivate inner peace and know that we're okay in this moment and not pay too much attention to what's going on on the outside of ourselves, not pay too much attention to our agitators or even the inner terrorists at times, when we're able to let that all fall away and say, right now I'm okay. Right now, whatever I'm experiencing, I can see good in it. I can see growth in it. I can see opportunity in it. I can see a way to deepen myself, my character, my convictions. Gosh, I just think that that's genius when we do that. When I think of it in just everyday walking it out, living it, I visit New York a lot, and I'm there quite a bit. And I was there recently, and I drove from New York back to Florida. And I ran out of gas in Georgia. It was late. I was tired. I ran out of gas. And in that moment, I said to myself, you're okay. The car might be on E and you might not know where you are, but you are okay. Take the steps. Do what you have to do. But don't have a story of how you're stupid. Don't decide to suffer through this. For what? There's so much in life that challenges us. There's so many battles, so many fires that we might have to put out. Why don't we just save that energy and just love the now and love ourselves through it? I have 3 children. My youngest is 6. I have a 9-year-old son and an 18-year-old son, and they are wonderful children. I'm very grateful, very grateful. I often say I don't know what I did, but I will not take credit. I will thank the Lord because they are truly a blessing to me, every single one of them. So my youngest son, his reading skills are not as developed as they could be. And when he was in school, the psychologist saw him and they came back and they talked with me about him and what they've noticed as teachers also. And I experienced some suffering around that issue. As a mother, I had thinking about what it means to be a mother and how mothers should worry. Mothering and worrying is not, they aren't all inclusive. That's a choice. And when I look at my son, I know that he's very intelligent. I can give him a box of those small Lego pieces, and I can come back an hour later and he's designed something just magnificent with it. He's charismatic. He's compassionate. He's a good listener. He's observant. I know that he is okay in this moment and that he'll be even better as time goes along. I know that reading is a skill that he will develop and that it's okay for him to be who he is right now. And it has led me to homeschool him, so I get to spend more time with my little treasure. And I get to see his gifts, and I get to see his talents, and I get to see him. And that's a really good thing that came out of this whole thing. And I say that to say this. Perspective matters, and being in the now, really realizing that the past is gone, the present isn't here, and it may never come. And all we have is a now. This is the reality of it. And as Byron Katie said, when you fall in love with reality, it's beautiful. I was reading her book and she was talking about her grandson, and he fell and hurt his knee and he was crying. And she went to him and she said, "Sweetheart, do you remember hurting your knee? Is that why you're upset?" And when I read it, I almost fell out of my chair. Because pain and suffering is not now, it's in the past, it's what we're remembering. And the future is this beautiful, wonderful gift that we haven't even opened yet. So fall in love with reality. Realize that mental health is right now. Peace of mind is right now. You co-create, you design, you build, you imagine, you put together the life that you want with your higher power in this moment. Thank you for being with me. Moi. Have a wonderful week.